The MAGA world is still trying to figure out how to date outside of the MAGA world, and if that's even possible. My name is Cameron Kasky with The Bulwark. I'm joined today by my wonderful ex-girlfriend, which is worth noting for this video, Ellie Schnitt. Ellie, what's going on with this? We're seeing some interesting stuff.
So I think this is something that has been present for a long time, but since the last Trump election, it has had a higher resurgence of men, essentially conservative men, hiding their political affiliations on dating apps in order to, I'm not really sure what it is. I think maybe do they not want to date conservative women? I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe it just broadens the pool for them. But it is a phenomena of hiding their political affiliation as far as they can and then sort of being caught out by these women. And there's a video that explains it much better than I'm explaining it. If Dante, if you want to cue that up.
A little while ago, there was a controversy that kind of blew up where everyone was talking about how conservative men were lying in their dating profiles about either being a conservative or just straight up just being like, oh, I'm apolitical. But that just meant that they were secretly conservative. And everyone was like, why are you lying? Just go find yourself a self-hating pick-me and pick them. They're begging you to pick them. But the thing that I have not been able to stop thinking about is this video of a man that he posted where he explained why he did this. He explained that when he dates conservative women who are out and out conservative, they always expect him to be like the man of the house, and they expect him to constantly be hyper masculine, and they have these very traditional expectations for the men that they date. But when he was dating liberal women, he never had that sort of expectation for how he should feel or behave or act in the relationship, and he felt much better in those types of relationships. And yet he himself still considered himself to be a conservative. I find this fascinating. It's almost like homeboy ran smack into the point and just kept on running past it.
What a sweater she's got. That's very interesting. Yeah, I could see that. The conservative women would definitely want you to be more like I was with you, the man in the house.
Sure.
But I'm wondering, I feel like we saw a bunch of older women say they were actually interested in talking to younger men because younger men might have been more liberal back when those younger men were the millennials who were in fact liberal.
Yes.
Now I feel like if I was an older woman, I would be scared of younger men because the younger men might be like red pill, Andrew Tate incels. What's your friends' read on this? What are your girlfriends saying about this?
Well, first of all, to the point that you just made, it kind of reminds me what we were talking about the Minecraft thing and how we were saying, or not Minecraft, Roblox, where we were saying, you don't know what these young boys are looking at online. I feel like late Gen Z sort of was the last generation that got to be woke, and now they're all watching Andrew Tate and being crazy. But my friends are certainly seeing this. I myself have seen this. Basically, it's like if a dating profile doesn't explicitly say liberal or Democrat or leftist or something, then you know that they're conservative. If it says nothing, they're conservative. It says moderate, they're conservative. If they say apolitical, they're conservative. And it's such a fascinating thing how few times you're going to see on a dating profile conservative. But then even when you're dating someone, you meet them in the wild, if you meet them in the wild and you're just hanging out, you might not know at first, you don't know. They'll never say, unless you straight up ask them, who did you vote for? They'll try to hide it, but they're not very good at hiding it.
No, they aren't. And that's part of what I was going to say was I feel like it doesn't take me long to figure out somebody's political beliefs. It is so rare that someone who would have voted for Trump comes off as anything different. But for me, the dating app political beliefs thing is so interesting because I obviously have mine set to liberal, and even then I'm sort of I fucking hate liberals.
Right, but I'm not a liberal, just so you know.
There's no setting for leans very progressive in many ways, but mostly marches to the beat of his own drummer. And I kind of think that I'm a moderate because many of my political beliefs compared to other developed countries are actually towards the center of their country, right? If you're pro Medicare for all,
sure,
and you're in Europe, that's what even moderate conservatives are saying.
Here, so moderate means you still have some Hitler particles for sure.
It's the thing. It's the thing with my opinion on myself with Israel Palestine. There's certain people I talk to who think that I'm this like APAC shill because I don't want to immediately dissolve an entire foreign government and relocate millions of people who are there somewhere else. And there's other people who think that I'm like a terrorist because I'm constantly shitting on the state of Israel.
Right.
And I'm like, I kind of think I'm a moderate on the issue. I kind of think my opinion is sort of chill. But on dating apps, moderate means conservative. And it's something we talk about a lot on this channel. A lot of the people who say they don't get into politics, they do it because they're conservative, but they don't want to have to defend their positions. Whereas if you ask some guy who he votes for and he voted for Kamala Harris, he'll probably be like, Kamala Harris. You know, if a guy's like, I voted for Kamala, he's either lying or weird.
Right.
I feel like the normal person's probably like,
yeah, you know.
Harris.
I mean, I would take a rah blue no matter who guy over the, well, I'm just not very political, because I also think that because conservatism is so monoculture in the US, like there's so many aspects of conservatism that are just part of our culture. A lot of people who don't know better do think that being a little conservative is being apolitical because it's so part of the culture. They don't always realize how conservative they are, how far right they are, because that's just part of American culture. Also, like,
yeah, it's like,
no, go ahead.
We are fundamentally a right-wing country, so to be moderate in this country is just to be like closer to the center, far right. How far to the left of yourself can you date, and how far to the right of yourself can you date?
I can date to the left of myself, as far as I'm not gonna like bold.
Hassan Piker.
Well, okay, he's not further left than me.
Hassan Piker, you're further left than Hassan Piker?
Oh, I would say I'm around where he is. Maybe up a little bit in various directions, but I think I align with him most.
So where's the cutoff? Where is somebody too commie for Ellie Schnitt?
Who's like, you know that tweet that's like, my strategy, you're voting? My strategy is to firebomb the Walmart. You know, it's like people who like are like anarchists for the sake of being anarchists, have no solution, just complaining, like that kind of person. I'm like, okay, I don't need to listen to you. Also, like, take a shower.
You'd say somebody had to have voted for Harris. If somebody said, I couldn't vote for Harris, I couldn't bring myself to do it, you'd be like, you know what, this person might be.
No, that I would understand in this particular election. But if you were able to vote in 2016 and you like voted for Jill Stein, that I'm like, I'm so sorry, I can't, you're stupid. And then to the right, I'm so sorry, the farthest right I'd go is someone who like watches CNN every day. That's I'm not going further right than that.
Oh, come on.
I'm not.
Come on.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I briefly dated somebody. We didn't date. We like went on dates. And he was Australian, and so it was hard to tell his like political affiliation, you know, because he's not American, so he's not like a party registered person. And then he said something to me where he was like, yeah, I'm just like not really political because I just don't understand, like, why can't we all just get along? And I was like, oh, you're a conservative. And then I stopped dating him.
We had an Australian on the show named Drew Pavlou, and he was where I really learned that I need to Google our guests before we have them on, because immediately after we had him on, I saw some tweets from him that I sent to Tim.
Yeah.
I was like, let the world remember that this was your fucking idea, Timothy. My co-host, Drew Pavlou. Here's a tweet of his from after Zohran Mamdani won the Democratic primary in New York City. I'm not going to do an accent. I acknowledge that this is an objectively retarded feature of my psychology since I am an Australian living in Brisbane. No comma here.
Sure.
But I felt a great sense of jealousy watching Zohran walk down the streets of Manhattan with e-girls screaming, Zohran, we love you. Literally living my dream. Then he goes on to say, why I, in this weak piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to spy my shadow in the sun and descant on my own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover to entertain farewell spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Richard III. You think you could date somebody who talks about retarded psychology as somebody from Brisbane?
I wouldn't date someone who said that word at all.
You would not date somebody retarded?
No, I would not.
So if a guy retarded, you would not date him?
No, I would not.
Okay, duly noted. I feel like we've got one more of these clips, and I know we're already kind of at time, but I sort of want to watch one more. Dante, can you throw one up just to surprise us?
Cheesecake. Apple pie. Chocolate chip cookies. Brownies. Ice cream sundae.
And she's right.
I don't get, wait, why was she saying that? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's a TikTok trend, but what she's saying is correct. I don't really understand what the audio has to do with anything, but what she's saying is correct. And I think it's important to tell, especially young women, this. Because you might not know. You might not know.
Did my perceived wokeness, did that strengthen my prospects with you, weaken them, or neither?
Definitely strengthened. Do you see this in women? Do you, or you know, do you see women changing or not stating their political affiliations in order to?
This is kind of complicated because I meet women normally one of two ways, which is through somebody else or on social media. And on social media, you could click on my page and immediately see my political beliefs because I post them all day. And my entire Instagram story is 12 different articles about the state of Israel. And that normally tips your hand as to where your political affiliations lie. But I slid into a girl's DMs last week who my friends had told me came from a conservative family. And I was like, well, my most recent post is a collab post between me and MSNBC Weekend Primetime of me talking about where I think the Democratic Party should strengthen itself. So who knows, maybe she'll watch it and think that I was commenting from the right and hit me back up. And she did not respond. But generally speaking, the approach that I take is just sort of like not throw myself a party about how woke I am, but also not like, you know, hide it. I don't want to try to act more like a mask typical dude. So I'll still be like kind of the soy boy pussy that I am. And it's just if it works, which it did on you, and you're obviously a 10, then that's one thing. And then if it doesn't work, like I don't want to be with a woman who sees how much of a soy boy pussy lib I am and is turned off by it, because eventually how much of a soy boy pussy lib I am will come out, and therefore might as well lead with it. But I don't think I ever do it like consciously thinking this is going to make me more attractive to someone, because I think that male feminists and woke men have just been so cringe that it's almost a neutral, because on the one hand, unapologetically having views about how society ought to be more equitable would strengthen your prospects to somebody. Yeah. But I also think that if I started dropping my occasional rad femme takes, they'd be like, he's either being deceptive or like convincing himself that he's some sort of I read bell hooks male hero and going to be even more toxic at the end of the day. Because I don't know, like sometimes I'll hear a dude say some sort of feminist thing that I would unironically say, but when I hear it, I'd be like, I don't know. It seems like he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. You feel me?
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean, where like there is the trope of like the male feminist that's just pretending to get pussy. And then there's also the idea of like, you know, never really ask a leftist man if he thinks that, you know, sexism is a serious problem. Like a lot of leftist men do have a problem with misogyny and with sexism. So I don't know, maybe just not dating is the only way forward. I really don't know how to find a man with like good politics. It's very hard. It's very hard. So if you guys know anybody,
just so you know, we're both single. So leave a comment down below if you've got any ideas for either of us. I hear that people who create content all the time are just the best romantic partners.
Normal, cool, get along well,
well-adjusted.
Yeah.
Both of us theater kids. We're the whole package and then some. Ellie, thanks so much for joining me. And everybody, tune back in sometime soon. Whatever we do next is probably going to be fucking great. I don't know. See y'all later.